Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Charm City Sideline podcast. I'm Zach. The other voice you'll hear is Bradley, and we are live post game after a Saturday night football finish where the Ravens beat up the Packers 41-24. And I'll say this very bluntly, on Derrick Henry's back. 36 carries, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns. Brad, I think a lot of the fan base was thinking about this game as one side staying alive for the playoffs and the other side maybe thinking this was the end of Harbaugh if they lose. Basically kissing your chances to the playoffs goodbye. We'll be Browns fans tomorrow, as that's the only way the Ravens can make the playoffs anymore. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, Derrick Henry had 216 yards. He averaged 6 yards a carry with only a long of 30. You know, normally you see 216 rushing yards, you would think there's like an 80-yard run in there or a few long runs in there. A long of 30 with 216 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns is nasty. That is a all-time Derrick Henry game. One of, if not the best game of Derrick Henry's career. The most carries he's ever had in a game, and he's almost 32 years old. You know, ignore everything else. Ignore how everyone feels about John Harbaugh. Ignore what this game meant for the Ravens. Derrick Henry had one of the best games he has ever had. Maybe the best game of his career. Grass stains all over his jersey. Stiff arming people. Just a beautiful game from Derrick Henry. And I think at the very least he showed us that he still has more in him. And this might not have been the year the Ravens wanted to have, but he'll be back and he still has plenty left in the tank. I wanted to get that out first just because it is an absolutely generational game from one of the best running backs in NFL history. But obviously the Ravens get the 41-24 win. Stay alive. Like Zach mentioned, Ravens need the Browns to beat the Steelers tomorrow to stay alive. If the Steelers win tomorrow, the Ravens are done. So we'll all be watching that game at 1 p.m. Also, shout out to Tyler Huntley today. 16 for 20, just 107. 5.4 yards an attempt. Had the touchdown to Zay, 105 rating. Didn't make any mistakes. You know, that's sort of been the theme of all these Ravens losses, turning the ball over. They won the turnover battle 2-0 today, and they got it done. You know, we always talk about when the Ravens lose, they didn't run the ball enough, and they lost the turnover battle. Those two things were completely flipped on its head in the game today, and that's why they won. So, great team win. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, needless to say, if you were playing Derrick Henry in a fantasy championship, you won. You're most likely going to win. And if you're against him, you lost. Yeah, so that's an all-time level performance in a situation where they needed it most. There wasn't a Lamar Jackson to make the next level plays. It was the running back that's always been capable of it, but has not had the O-line play for the entire year this season to also make up for someone like Lamar Jackson, losing Lamar Jackson in a crucial game like this. And this is a great freaking way to put it. The Ravens were just firing on all cylinders. I would say if we talk about the defense, I think that we're a little more negative. We'll get into that more. I think right now, though, focusing on the positives, the Ravens are playing their best football right now, whether we like it or not. 41-24. Last couple weeks, sure, you had a chance against the Patriots. That's a number 1 or 2 or 3 seed in the AFC. You barely lost that game. Choke it away, but still you barely lost it. You shut out Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Even though today we're going to have some negatives that you and me are going to talk about, Brad, the Ravens right now, offensively, I would say specifically, are playing some of their best ball all year. And that is exactly what you dream of heading late into the year. Yeah, you'd wish the scenario was better. The circumstances were better, as in maybe you're actually going to make the playoffs instead of begging for the Cleveland Browns and Shadur Sanders to win tomorrow, or else your season's over. But also, right now, there's reasons to look up and say that this team is capable of winning next week if we get the chance. So I can appreciate someone like Harbaugh's performance and coaching performance as getting this team right for a game like this and not letting any moments be too much. There had to be a thought in every fan's mind when it was 27-24 that
There
we're
were
game.
multiple times where it felt like
I thought
even
it was obvious. I thought I was just waiting for it to happen.
even when the Ravens were up 20-7 and then Malik Willis had his first touchdown run and it was 20-14, it felt like there was no way the Ravens were going to end up winning that game.
Yeah.
You mentioned how the Ravens are playing their best ball right now, and it's definitely the best offensive performance we've seen all year. What sucks about this, and it's like I was talking about this with my dad this morning. They were dominating the best team in the AFC last week.
Yeah.
For a quarter. Like, they can beat anyone. The roster isn't great. The O-line's not good enough to probably win 4 playoff games in a row. But this team can beat anyone, and it just sucks that they had so many terrible losses that now they're relying on the Browns to get a win tomorrow. But just speaking about tonight, it's a great performance. I wrote down some stats at halftime just to sort of see how it compares to the end of the game. Ravens sort of ended up dominating the whole game. Obviously, a little bit of a blip there at times, but at halftime, the Ravens had 20 first downs. The Packers had just 7. The Ravens ran 45 plays in the first half. The Packers ran 14. The Ravens had 83 passing yards and 175 rushing yards. And the time of possession in the first half was 24-6. Funnily, Malik Willis was 8 for 8, 133, and 2 total touchdowns in the first half. Derrick Henry had over 100 in the first half and 3 touchdowns. Then you look at the end of the game. Ravens finished with 30 first downs, Packers 18, 74 plays to 44 for Green Bay. Actually, Ravens had 5.6 yards per play, Packers 8.2 yards per play. The rushing yardage difference here, Ravens 307 rushing yards, Packers 79 rushing yards.
Oh my goodness.
And Malik Willis had 60 of those 79 rushing yards. So Ravens allowed just 19 rushing yards to running backs today for Green Bay. Ravens were in the red zone 6 times today, scored a touchdown on 4 of those trips. And the final time of possession was 40-16 to 19-44. Just a complete dominant win, I would say, besides the passing defense. There's some struggles there. Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Hamilton had a few mishaps, but run offense, honestly, even pass offense, because it was efficient, and then run defense were all amazing today.
That's a great quote from High Frequencies. That might be one of the best performances I've ever seen by Ravens players, and Henry's. That was unfreaking believable. I do want to start with one negative note, one negative question. We were talking about it in our Discord. Link will be in the description. Free to join. Should come through. We were talking during the game, and we're asking, why does Snoop look more dynamic? Why does the offense look more dynamic? And I said, I'm not totally sure where this O-line performance is coming from. Where has this been all year? Where is this? If we're playing this way with Tyler Huntley, finally, where has this been even once for Lamar? And I'm just upset that the O-line hasn't shown this potential once this year. That was an unbelievable performance from the offensive line as well. You, Huntley played almost as clean of a game as you can play, pocket wise, escaping whenever he wanted. And Derrick Henry has that game. Voorhees, I remember a couple of replays where Voorhees is throwing dudes. It's either the Packers defense is that bad or the Ravens defense was motivated, or Ravens offensive line was motivated unlike anything we've literally ever seen. I really couldn't believe my eyes. It really does give me hope that the team could go on a run as long as this unbelievable Cleveland Pittsburgh situation happens. And it's funny that we still have to play the Steelers after that to get in, but right now they're just playing their best ball. It's too late. It feels like it's also too late as much as it is, great timing. You want to play your best by the end of the year, but also we're out of time. We don't control the destiny, and the Packers totally got outwilled, totally. And I think that is kind of a testament to someone like Harbaugh. And someone said it earlier. I think I'm a little worried that we might hold on to him because of games like this. ... I think it was Douglas somewhere up there. Like, it's true. It's the games like this where if you stay alive, if Cleveland does pull off some freaking miracle tomorrow, this win looks incredible on someone's resume like John Harbaugh's. And that pains me to say out loud. Like, I would say I was equally hate watching as much as I was enjoying myself watching that, thinking, yeah, I think someone like Harbaugh has a job because of games like this. And also seeing as how the defense ended up securing the game. I mean, yeah, a batted pass that you catch as an interception, like, we can't say that's the greatest play of all time. Like, it's not like they're making generational plays defensively, but they got the job done. It's with the recipe that wins the Ravens games. That you have to turn the ball over. And that happened a couple of times, especially with that fourth down stop. The first half, really, in general, was like just watching the Packers collapse and the Ravens putting up kicks because of it. It was all in the 30s and 35s that they were getting the ball back. So you couldn't help but just sit there and laugh as how the Ravens are just getting set up for a win, gift wrapped a win, late Christmas present. And it makes me think how someone like Harbaugh's job is thought about for the future. We're automatically this we were going to talk about Harbaugh. Automatically, we're going to talk about the offensive line. You have thoughts on either of those performances tonight?
Yeah, it's the best game I've seen from the offensive line all season. Probably the best game from Todd Monken I've seen all season. And some people are sort of like, I don't know, maybe trying to be conspiracy theorists. Like, why did Todd Monken call such a great game today when Lamar's not playing? This happens with like almost every time a backup quarterback starts for a team. The OC kind of, I don't know if I'd say they lock in more because I feel like they're always locked in, but like, you help your quarterback out more than you normally would. And I think there's almost sort of an epidemic in the NFL where play callers rely on their star quarterback too much, and they should be calling every game how the game was called tonight. And that's not a Todd Monken thing. That's a whole entire NFL philosophy thing. So that's not like a Ravens organization. Like, that's nothing there. What's up, Heather? That's like, I feel like that happens every time. Not every time, but a lot of times when a capable backup quarterback starts that can run an offense, it looks like this a lot. Terms of the offensive line, I don't know. Daniel Falele and Andrew Voorhees just played insane. Ronnie played well. Linderbaum played well. I think Rosengarten's really the only guy that I noticed a few mistakes from. Falele may have had like one or two mistakes, normal for a guard, obviously, to have a couple of mistakes in a game. Literally a bizarre performance from the offensive line. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The Packers dealt with a lot of injuries, though. You know, Micah Parsons has been out. They have no pass rush without him. You know, they trade away Kenny Clark to Dallas. to get Micah Parsons. Now they don't have either of them. So that's something to think about as well. Really just not really the guys in the front seven for them. I've, I don't know. They got so much push in the run game today. It was insane. On the other side of it, Malik Willis, 18 for 21, 288 passing yards.
Ooh.
13.7 yards per attempt. Not yards per completion, yards per attempt. That is insane. Wow. Tyler Huntley had 5 yards per attempt. Malik Willis had 13.7. 134 rating. I'm not saying the Ravens would have lost, but you could make a case that they may have lost if Malik Willis didn't have the shoulder injury in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were marching down the field.
It's true.
Down 10. Like, it could have easily been down. Let me double check here. Could have easily been down 3 with like 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left. Like, game was not even close to being over when Willis went down. I was like, yeah, it's over. Ravens do answer that, though, with a 10-play, 68-yard touchdown drive with Derrick Henry's 4th and final rushing touchdown. That one was from 25 yards out down the left sideline. Just an amazing offensive performance. The Ravens had, if you take away the one-play kneel at the end of the game, the Ravens had 8 drives, and they scored on 7 of them. So just a very, very consistent effort. I believe both teams combined, there was only 1 punt today. Crazy. In the second quarter, the Ravens scored 20 points. In the fourth quarter, they scored 14. That's not something that they have done in a while.
It's true.
2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's how you win games. So, it's kind of a weird scenario, Zach. Like, we're happy about the win.
Yeah.
Happy at how well they looked, but
yeah,
there's a, I don't know, 75% chance it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. It's interesting to me that, like, possibly Harbaugh's job on the line, the season on the line, backup quarterback, and they give Derrick Henry the most carries he's ever had in his life in an NFL game. Like,
and it works.
You couldn't have done this at any other point since you signed him a few years back. Like, it's kind of like disappointing, but like you got to be happy for the win, but you also got to think about, like, where has this effort, where has this game plan been?
Yep.
For so long.
Mm-hmm. For the offensive line, I had a quote. You're gonna have to make sure I'm right on this. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. With the offensive line, I mean, what the heck was that performance? Perfect storm of a performance from, I would say, Voorhees and Faalele specifically. I can't get that Rosengarten play out of my mind where he just gets speed tossed by, I forgot his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I can spell his name. Packers. And either way, happy with a win. Seeing at least that it does come down to another team and some bullcrap miracle that we're hoping for. Like, it's not something that's totally impossible. It gives us another week and another day to be hopeful and happy about this team. We are big Browns fans tomorrow, boys. Yes, sir, League. There's one stat that I really want to harp on right now, which is real weird. In games that Lamar Jackson starts and finishes under John Harbaugh, they are 75-27. That's pretty freaking good, obviously. Since 2012, this is since 2012, Harbaugh coach teams not started and finished by Lamar Jackson, 50-56. Now, this was a great coaching performance. So that number, I included this win, 50-56 in these games. Lamar Jackson makes a difference like no other, obviously. He's one of the all-time greats. Tyler Huntley comes in the game, plays, you know, executes a very, I'm going to say, a very basic offensive game plan. Um, and funny enough, it's also a very not basic, almost a very, what's a good word? A very exotic run game plan. Like everything with Derrick Henry was so thought out. Like every time they got the look of kind of an edge where it's the weak side of the defense and there's like maybe just an one linebacker, two defensive linemen, they let Derrick Henry decide you're going out, you're going in. Like there was so many times where it was almost totally up to Derrick Henry in executing and getting to where he wanted. The O-line just did their job. There wasn't even push on those plays. They just sat on them right at the line of scrimmage and just like, Henry, make your move. And that's all it took. And it goes back to the whole fact that someone like Harbaugh wins games like this, but still he wins games like this statistically half the time. We've seen other games where Huntley's played and it's not this miracle, fun, great ending of a game and the defense can't stop anybody. It's this whole avalanche. This game is the opposite. It shows you both sides of it, where a game like this almost blinds you in a way to what Derrick Henry actually does for the team, what Harbaugh actually does for the team. So many different players, and shows you where the real greatness is located, which would be in Derrick Henry and not in Harbaugh's performance of a coaching job. Like I'm it's a weird step to take outside. Maybe this doesn't even make sense. But like I think just the impact of Lamar Jackson, it goes to a different question almost where we're talking about this. Like a different coach right now. If this is how the season ends, we lose next week. Maybe it's with the division on the line. Maybe it's not. Whatever. Next week we learn that we are not in the playoffs. You can look at a game like this and someone like Bisciotti says, "Oh, that's a reason why we keep John Harbaugh." There's also like like this idea of what have you done for me lately? And it's almost like, dude, this was like 2 weeks. This is a game where the season is not in our hands anymore. It was a backup quarterback and then a third string quarterback, the backup you almost lost to. There's still many levels to this. It was such an incredible, enthusiastic win. I'm not trying to take away from how much fun this was to watch as a fan and how awesome of a late Christmas present this was from Derrick Henry. Like, there's still like a level to unpack for this that I think we should at least mention as the question is still looming, win or loss, no matter what. Even tomorrow, win or loss, it's still going to be there. It's not still like tomorrow. You can still ask, even if the Browns lose, like, do we think Bisciotti is actually going to get rid of John Harbaugh or not? There's still a question, all because of games like this. But also think about different games this season where with Lamar Jackson, you can't get it done. But all of a sudden, it takes like a perfect storm of offensive line play, Derrick Henry career highs and many statistics, and reaching what record level stuff like in one game altogether. This was more than a perfect storm, like for everybody involved. But it's also, I just hope it doesn't blind any of the fan base to thinking that Harbaugh's question of coaching is still something to not watch anymore, like to kind of side until after tomorrow. Like we just won a game against a NFC playoff team, most likely 41-24. And we can't imagine the playoffs. We can't imagine this team rolling into the playoffs like this because of a terrible season's worth of coaching. It's not just one night. So I'm sorry I had to really bug us down here with a bad freaking negative topic here, but I really wanted to get it off my chest. Like I think there's levels to this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this, in my opinion, and obviously in your opinion, yeah, this is not a game that like saves Harbaugh's job by any means. At least we hope it isn't. Um, it'll be interesting to see what the vibe is like, depending on what happens tomorrow with the Steelers Browns game. Like, if the Browns win tomorrow, you have a whole another week of like basically the playoffs start on Monday if the Browns win tomorrow. Like that's your first
Yeah.
practice of the playoffs. Um, I still think that if the Ravens were to if the Browns beat the Steelers tomorrow and then the Ravens lose to the Steelers in week 18, like yeah,
No excuses.
you're done. Um I think even if the Ravens make the playoffs and like have a bad showing in the wild card round, I still think, Bashadi's a smart guy. I still think he is thinking about everything. No matter what happens. If the Steelers win tomorrow and the season's over, I think, again, there's a conversation to be had. We have no idea. Jeff Zrebeck talked about how like he has no idea because the only person that knows is Steve Bisciotti. He doesn't tell anyone anything. And he's one of the most private owners in the league, maybe the most private owner in the league. He doesn't even like to be shown on TV during games. He's at every game. He literally asks the networks and the league, whatever, to not be shown on TV. They pan to Jerry Jones in the box all the time and all that sort of stuff. Like, Bisciotti does not want to be on TV. He doesn't speak to the media anymore. He hasn't done that for a while. We have no idea what he's thinking. There is a chance he made his mind up before this game.
Yeah.
Keep, fire, either one. There's a chance he already made his mind up. So we'll see. To Zach's point, like it's a great outing from Derrick Henry and the offensive line and Tyler Huntley. Like Clayton Tune is playing in the fourth quarter. Like like you gotta talk about everything that goes into this game, not just the Ravens beat the 9-5-1 Packers 41-24 with a backup quarterback. Fish Stick comment, private ownership better than anything in my opinion. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Especially from an ownership perspective. Why would you tell anyone what you're thinking? I guess we could talk a little bit about the pass catchers today. Zay Flowers, 4 catches for 30 yards. No running backwards today, I don't think, unless I'm mistaken.
I think once. Maybe once.
Honestly, a massive play that I feel like we shouldn't have taken 27 minutes to get into, but 3rd and 8 at the 10.
Yeah. Yep.
With 10 minutes left. And I'm like, field goal. You know what I mean? Like before this play, I'm like, there's no way they're scoring here. And Huntley hits Zay on a little short, quick out route to the left. Zay sort of gets by one guy really quick and reaches for the pylon, gets in. I feel like that was like obviously a touchdown. I don't really know what people were talking about. Obviously the ball got dropped, but I think that's easily a touchdown. Like I wasn't concerned at all. I don't really know why that was controversial. To Terry McCauley, at least it wasn't. He was like, yeah, guys, like that's a touchdown.
I just think they've scarred us. Like we don't know what a catch and what isn't a catch is anymore. Like as in we had to double think about if that really was a touchdown. I definitely did. I'm like, crap, I don't know if that was.
Yeah, and that was a great throw from Tyler Huntley. And Tyler Huntley had a couple of like amazing plays today where it's like you're not going to see it on a highlight reel, but there were 2 or 3 times he took off on a 3rd down or even a 2nd down on a QB draw, something like that, and got a big 1st down. Scramble drill. There was a 3rd and 4 at the Green Bay 35 in the 4th quarter. Huntley scrambled up the middle for 9 yards. Exceptional today, and I think the Ravens absolutely have to extend him this offseason. I don't blame them for letting him go when they did because he had struggled in, I'd say, multiple starts in a row before they let him go, but he's improved a lot over the last couple seasons, and I definitely think they should sign him back to be the backup for Lamar Jackson for sure again.
I don't know. I don't remember, I should say, how much Cooper Rush is making right now. But if he's the emergency
He's
guy
making a
and
decent
he's
amount of money.
most likely gone, I think we're happy to give that money to Tyler Huntley. We are
Yeah.
happy to do that.
Yep. I
That is
believe
something you don't even think about like next
I
year. That's
I
easy.
believe Cooper Rush's contract was like, I don't think there's that much, if any, dead money for next year. So I think they're in a pretty good position with that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think Tyler Huntley has got to be the next backup quarterback for this team. Um, should we get into sort of like the negatives from the defense today?
Probably. Yeah, I think we're due.
So I don't want to say bad things about this guy because this really, I mean, it's definitely the worst game of his career. And like maybe the only really bad game we've ever seen him play in the NFL, Nate Wiggins.
Yeah.
Really, really tough performance for him tonight. Just like giving up catches left and right. It felt like he was, to me, concerned about Christian Watson's speed, which is interesting because Nate Wiggins is never concerned about the speed of
Hmm.
someone he's covering. I genuinely wonder if he's dealing with something minor that he doesn't believe in his top end speed at the current moment, or maybe just today, because he was giving Watson a ton of cushion on some comeback routes that he got open on, some deep outs. And that's just something I'm not used to seeing. It felt like he didn't trust his athleticism today. Um, I know, Two Federal just commented his foot. He's dealt with a foot injury as of late, so maybe that was bugging him a
Hmm.
little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe the footing. I'm not really sure, but it felt like he wasn't trusting his speed today, and that was sort of the culprit for why he was struggling. Um, I thought Starks had one of his classic games where we don't notice him much, which is obviously a good thing for safety. Hamilton had that
Yeah.
one mistake, giving up the touchdown over the middle, and then when the Ravens were in cover two, he didn't follow the seam on Christian Watson. Do you think that's sort of a tough assignment? You're playing all the way up at the line of scrimmage. Go cover this guy in the slot that runs a 4-2. Um, Other than that, I mean, Marlon definitely had his struggles. It's funny, Marlon, maybe the worst year of his career. And there's been so many times where the ball just keeps finding him. He keeps making a play, even after struggling um, for a while. So that's been cool to see Marlon still get some clutch turnovers, even though he's been struggling. Um, Tavius played very well. Travis Jones had a sack and a half. I thought Dre Jones played pretty well. I thought Roquan played well. What are your thoughts on the defense today, Zach?
Well, it's complicated, I think. Like I really think all the secondary had a pretty rough game. Like Malik Willis had a great time dissecting this defense. There were so many miscommunications, it seemed like, for the first half, even though it was a really good first half. Like Roquan, Hamilton, Marlon, everybody seemed to be talking to each other, like talking about missed assignments, whatever it could be. It felt like there was just miscommunication so many times, many like third and long situations, like this comment here from Fish Day, like just careless defense in many different situations. And I was just very shocked. Like someone like Nate Wiggins, like you said, we're just not accustomed to him playing a bad game. Like this is the first time we've seen it. And I just sat there shocked. I really couldn't believe he was the one on the opposite end, the receiving end of those bad plays. I think that also the Packers don't have like the number one guy to go to. Watson's been great, but like they're willing to do whatever it takes, as in a passing approach, to win a game, to stay competitive in a game. And I think that involves targeting guys you don't expect to be targeted. Like Wiggins has been our staple. And if he's sagging off a little bit because it's, the wide receiver 4 or 3, whatever, for the Packers, it wasn't for a lot of it, but whoever it was in that situation, like I think the Packers are just also playing with house money with, a backup quarterback or two. So they tested Wiggins tonight and Wiggins failed, but it also felt like a lot of different defensive guys also failed. I would say the D line played pretty good, as in run defense. They played
Hmm.
Unbelievable.
Packers could
Travis
not
Jones,
run the ball
unbelievable.
at
It was
all.
incredible. I had a buddy who had Josh Jacobs in championship game. I mean, dude, 1 point maybe. He was awful. And the Ravens defense, I'll give them their credit for that. That was unbelievable. And truly, I think that wins you the game. We didn't do a specific preview for this game, but I know we would have talked about how the Packers in their run game truly getting this team going. Like Willis is a really good quarterback. We talked about it. He's maybe a top 32 quarterback. And with a run game, that only makes him better and the offense better. Ravens just took it away and totally one dimensional. Uh, I was just impressed with that game plan. I still think Packers moved the ball really easily when they wanted to, but still, there was some positives to take away from the defense, but I still had a negative tone by the end of it. I still felt like
Mm.
we could choke the game
I
when
mean,
Willis
yeah,
was in the game,
yeah,
and
that's what.
and that's definitely a defensive thing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's what I sort of mentioned earlier. Like, we need to remember Willis got injured. Like they were driving down the field very easily
Yeah.
when he went down with the shoulder, and Clayton Tune threw a pick. That wasn't his fault, but threw a pick 2 plays later. So that's something to think about. I'm trying to think about anyone on the defense I didn't mention. Trenton Simpson, I want to give credit to him. I feel like he's filled in very, very well
Oh, sweet.
since Teddy Buchanan went down with his torn ACL. You know, he's definitely played better than I thought he was going to when Buchanan went down with a knee injury. Um, you know, without even any specific plays in my mind, I think he did chase down Willis one time on a third down. You know, Trenton Simpson, when he wasn't starting, you know, his role was sort of the QB spy on third and long, third and, 5+. And now he's already on the field and he's still sort of having that role. And Malik Willis was almost no match for him on that play, trying to get outside. Everyone knows how fast Trenton Simpson is. But like besides that play, there were no rushing lanes for the Packers tonight.
Right.
And like that shows discipline from your inside linebackers. Obviously, we know what Roquan is, but Trenton Simpson has to play sound, has to play smart in order for that to happen. So a lot of credit goes to him. Um, and yeah, Washington was in there a little bit. Awuzie coming back from the injury, played a little bit. The pass rush is still terrible. Um, some of these plays that Wiggins is giving up, it's like if the Ravens wanted to run that play, Lamar would be getting sacked before he even could throw the ball there. Um, I'm not saying Wiggins wasn't getting beat badly on some of these plays, but these are some long developing routes that Malik Willis is just meditating in the pocket before he throws the ball.
Yeah.
That's been an issue all year. Whether the Ravens play one more game, whether they play 3 more games, it's going to be an issue the rest of the year. Nothing they can really do about it. Dre Jones has helped a lot. It's gotten a lot better since he's come back. It's gotten better since Tavius Robinson has come back. But still, it's not getting it done. Definitely.
It's such a weird defensive philosophy. We can hold the Packers, just running backs, to 19 yards. Malik Willis had 60 of the 79.
Yeah.
19 yards to Josh Jacobs and company. That is unbelievable. That is incredible. No team can really say that in all of football. And yet we can still give up the freaking patent pending 100-yard receiver we always give up. And also feel like we can lose a game fully because we're giving up so much in the big play aspect of it. Yeah, I think Willis is a great quarterback to be able to like move around and get shifty. Like it also goes back to the fact that some teams we play just refuse to go back to running the ball, which in this game it didn't work one bit. But also in the past, we've seen so many games like the Dolphins, I remember specifically, maybe the Browns here and there, like where they run the ball pretty well and are in the game with the running game and then go away from it completely and lose the game. The Packers just saw what is that fish freaking called? An anglerfish or something that has the little light at the end, and we're just like, hey, we literally just
Yeah.
got. If
Yeah.
you want to pass the ball, pass the ball. What the heck? And it's working sometimes? Are you kidding me? No pass rush to help it out. If you did have a really good freaking pass rusher, really, really good pass rusher, it's one heck of a defensive scheme. But we do not have the luxury of that, and we tend to be burnt on that end. But other than that, again, I'm happy to give up a 100-yard receiver rather than a 100-yard running back. Like it's
It's definitely easier to
interesting look at.
overcome that.
Yeah.
I believe Derrick Henry now has 1,469 rushing yards on the year. Kind of crazy. He's gonna have 1,500 yards in what felt like a down year.
Yeah.
For him. Last thing for me that I can think of, at least for the moment, Tyler Huntley. This is from Jonas Schaefer. Tyler Huntley said he was hoping to call Shedeur Sanders ASAP tonight. Obviously, they have a relationship because Huntley was there in Cleveland in training camp and I think a little bit of this season. So it'll be funny if they have a conversation. I assume Shedeur is probably not still awake as they have a 1 p.m. game tomorrow, but there will probably be some communication between them. That's funny. And we'll see
funny.
if the Browns can get the win tomorrow. It'll be a fun one to watch. We're usually, I don't know if we've ever been in this position where we need another team to win to get in. It's usually like we're either just out or the Ravens are the team that needs to win in week 17, week 18, whatever. So it'll be interesting tomorrow.
Yeah, man, we were talking about like what we do for the playoffs and everything. It's usually so easy to just a Ravens preview, playoff preview.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real situation right now. We have no idea what to do. I guess we are spoiled in that way.
We are. Like Sutton mentioned a few weeks ago, normally a week 17 post-game reaction for me and Zach, we're arguing why Lamar should win MVP.
Right.
We're not talking about we need the Browns to win tomorrow so we have a chance to make the playoffs.
The Browns. Could have just had the freaking Lions do it last week. Come on, man.
I know the Lions suck now. Or the Ravens could have just beat the Patriots, but anyway. You got anything else, Zach?
I don't think so. I hope Snoop really convinces Shedeur on that phone call tonight to get it done. Get some extra motivation. It's definitely going to be like basically cheering for the Ravens again. I hope we're all following the game. No DK tomorrow. Like
no TJ Watt.
No, is that real? I didn't know if he was questionable or
I
what.
believe so. Let me double check to make sure I'm not wrong.
I saw he was practicing, so
TJ Watt is out.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be really fun to cheer for Myles Garrett. That'll be real fun. So, hey, Browns fan for the day. Either win or lose, I guess. Because holy crap, our only hope. And shout out Derrick Henry.
Shout out to Derrick Henry, man.
Yeah,
what a performance. Also, one thing I didn't mention: Tyler Huntley, 60 rushing yards today. We mentioned his ability to scramble and how well he did, knowing when to take off and things like that. But 60 rushing yards. Ravens had over 300 today as a team.
Just looking at the rushing, Keaton Mitchell getting 9 carries. Like they really do. They involved him to the max. Like
I think they used him like perfectly today.
Yeah, it wasn't really working. I would say like working as in what we're knowledgeable of what working means.
But like Mitchell. The change of pace.
Right. Like a big rip of something from him. There wasn't that, but the speed aspect of screwing up their minds worked flawlessly. And it's interesting. Like, again, we love Lamar Jackson. This is not a diss at Lamar Jackson. Having a quarterback that actually is in the game plan to take off, like, or really drawn up plays. There were so many QB draws. There was just so many great calls from Monken and perfectly executed. Great timing, every bit of it. Like the run game was lethal. Does not do it justice. It was unbelievable. They killed it tonight.
Yeah, 100%. If you don't have anything else, Zach, we can get into shout outs here.
Heck yeah. We're very close to 1K. We are so close.
Guys.
We can hit 1K before the end of the season. We can do it.
If anyone in here right now is not subscribed, Zach and I would love you if you could hit the subscribe button.
If you comment, I'll comment on your comment. I'll reply, give you at least a purple heart. Follow on Instagram and comment you did it. I'll follow you back. Whatever the crap. Like we got to get to 1K. Please, please, please. We've got to do it. Come on.
Yeah. Zach's Instagram is RavensHQ. My Instagram is Lamar Season. Also like the video, hit the notification bell. Oh yeah, shout outs. I forgot we were gonna do that.
Of course.
Rave 5298 2 Federal Prime Trust. What's up, man? Makai, the Great, Xander,
Eli,
Michael, Wrigley, High Frequencies, Fish Stick,
Ephraim.
Douglas.
Sorry if I messed that up. Wrigley,
KP,
Henry Alice. All right.
To plug.
KP. He did that freaking cylinder crap.
E-frame, F-frame.
Heather, a little shout out. I don't know if you said that. Dylan Wolf.
Oh, Dylan Wolf. I didn't know he was in here.
Gunman stood right in front of his TV. Holy crap. Watch the game.
Coach Bug, 00. We appreciate you guys.
Shout out.
Subscribe again. Hey, watch tomorrow. You got it, Prime Trust.
Love watch for the Browns too.
I will say, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked.
Awesome. Dude, I would be shocked.
I would not be shocked.
You can't say that, dude.
What's the spread?
The Browns. It's like, oh, I don't know actually.
I doubt it's that much. I doubt it's probably like 4 or something.
Pittsburgh -3.5.
Yeah, dude,
they're the away team. Hey, if you're in Cleveland, get loud.
Steelers at Cleveland. No Watt, no DK.
Football gods. Bless up.
We will see.
Bless up.
But
or don't if you want Harbaugh fired.
Yeah. We really appreciate you guys. Everyone have a fun Sunday watching football all day. You don't have to watch the Ravens tomorrow. And yeah, go. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say, I'm not going to say that. They're a rival. Hopefully the Browns win tomorrow. Okay. We will see you guys next time. Peace.
Go Browns. Boom.